Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, can you believe it? We got it. It just came in today. My first ever Supreme box logo anything. Well, I shouldn't say anything. They put the box logo on a lot of stuff, but an actual box logo hoodie or tee has completely eluded me this entire time that I have been collecting Supreme. And now we've got one, my first ever. It's going to be special. I went with the black on black, classic combination, and I'm going to be wearing the hell out of this thing, folks. It was a big deal for me. You know, I've been collecting since what, 2017 or so, and never could be fast enough to grab one. And I made a promise when I was first collecting Supreme. I was not going to use a bot. I was not going to buy third party. If I couldn't manually get it on drop day myself, I wasn't going to get it. So all this time, no luck until last week. It took a week to get here. And folks, it's here. Oh my gosh. All right. That's not all though. Let's get to the intro. Okay, folks, could this day have gone any better? Sorry, I'm just in a bizarre mood. So, and of course, I'm talking about the second I got off work. The work day itself was long and tedious, but now that we're off work, now we can finally start enjoying the fact that we have unboxed our first ever Supreme box logo hoodie. We're, of course, in, where else? The Bronx. The sun is down to the perfect spot right now where I can get out and maybe take some pictures with me in front of the Bronco. Maybe come up with a new display picture. Oh my gosh, I would use it on all my social medias if finally we had the Supreme in front of the Bronco. Oh my gosh, how perfect would that be? What more can you ask for? So let's see if we can go take some good pics, and then it's off to get something to eat for dinner. All right, and something else I forgot. Couple box logos. So if you saw my couple box logo stickers, I should say, if you saw my Supreme box logo hoodie unboxing, I ripped through that thing because I wanted to get at it really fast, and I neglected to thank goodness I dumped out the package before I threw the mailer away, because those two stickers were in there. As always, there's always typically two stickers in there, but I was like, after I got the hoodie out, I was like, wait, I don't remember seeing any stickers, and I dumped it out, and sure enough, there were two in there. All right, so now let's actually head to the game room. All right, so the reason I wanted to come down here was, and hopefully you can see this without a lot of glare, I may have talked about this in a video in the past, but I could kick myself for not mentioning this in yesterday's video. Yesterday was my dear friend Billy's birthday. He passed away. It'll be really 2 years? Yeah, it'll be 2 years ago next month. It was like Super Bowl Sunday of 2020 that he passed away, and it was an absolute shock because I had just gone out to lunch with him days prior, like less than a week prior, and he was in good spirits, and we were talking about an upcoming potential game night. As you can see, I made this thing for my game room, just hanging it around with all my other things, just because it was a couple shots of playing Warriors of Mana. So prior to Battlefields of Mana, believe it or not, we had Warriors of Mana, where you created a champion, you had an army of troops. I don't know if you can even kind of see them in there. I may have videos of Warriors of Mana, but you had an army of troops led by a hero that you customized. So it had some RPG aspects to it, but it was mostly a tabletop skirmish war game. But this was our map we were battling over. We were 6 games in, 3-3. That's where it'll end forever because we were unable to get to a 7th game. But I just wanted to mention that because I think about him all the time. Anytime I'm coming up with characters or rules, I'm just, he's giving me feedback in my mind. I can just imagine what his responses would be. And it is selfishly, I am so pissed that he is no longer with us, because he I just had the absolute best time playing games with him, and he was someone I could truly like depend on and count on to play games with. Like, I would just shoot him a message, "Hey Billy, you free on Saturday?" or whatever the case may be. And 9 times out of 10 he was, and we would have a great game session. And he was one of the first people that when I would play a game with them, like, okay, so originally, I think one of the first games he played with me was Xia, Legends of a Drift System. Of course, if you know Xia, that's one of my favorite games of all time. And I played that with him, and it was in one of the rare instances. Normally, I'll play a game with someone, and they say, "Oh, that's great," and, if they may want to play it again or whatever. He actually went out and bought his own copy. And he was not necessarily someone who, had a was a big diehard tabletop gamer prior to this. But playing Xia really opened his eyes, kind of like when I first played Agricola, and it opened my eyes to the world of board gaming. Not only then did he buy his own copy of Xia, and he hosted his own game nights playing Xia, but he was also in the process of developing his own game, because he would play these games with me of my own creation, and that inspired him. He would tell me all the time the latest updates playing his game. He loved the idea of summoning creatures in battle. And, you'd have a warlord, and then instead of like buying troops using points or gold, you would summon them on the table at the time. So you would have a whole list of various creatures and monsters and animals you could summon, and you would channel mana turn by turn and then spend that to summon creatures. Everyone would have their own corner of the board that was like their headquarters, and the object was to siege your opponent's headquarters with your summoned creatures. And he was in the process of I don't know what ended up happening to all this. He had some figures painted, commissioned figures painted, a couple of them like as a test run. And he was in talks with a carpenter to have a custom table made that would have the sections of the board, like it would be a tabletop gaming board crafted into a table. Like he was dreaming so big for this thing, and I absolutely loved it. And I'm so sad that that'll never see the light of day now, but I just thought I would mention that, as well as just it's just such a hard time for loss recently, because now my longtime family pet, my sister, so long ago, I was in college, it was 2009, my sister brings home a miniature pinscher. It was the cutest thing. She named it Baby. Then she moved to an apartment like probably less than a year later, and they couldn't have dogs. So my parents took the dog in, and then it became my dad's like best friend over the years. So 2009 to 21, so she was 12 years old. She had cancer. Last year, I think, is when she was diagnosed, and they said, well, we could give her chemo, but that would affect her quality of life. So my parents decided no chemo. They would just try to let her live as comfortably her last few days as possible, not try to extend her life for an extra few months or something and have her go through chemo, which in the end seemed like a fantastic thing, because she had almost an entire another year or more of life without the chemo. And then just within like the last month, she really went downhill. And so today my parents took her and had her put to sleep, which was so sad. And I'm so sad for my dad, because she was his best friend. He would carry her everywhere. He's a big mechanic. And I have a video on my channel, on my other channel, my Rick Keppen channel, of my dad getting his 1936 John Deere D tractor running. And so you can tell just how mechanically oriented he is. But the whole reason I'm saying that is because he would like ride her around on that tractor, or he had other tractors too, when he'd shovel snow and stuff on his Ingersoll, and he would like tuck her into his flannel shirt so her head would be peeking out. And normally you'd think a dog wouldn't like all that loud noise, but she was around him in all this machinery so often that she just got used to the loud noise, and she would go with him no matter where he was, working on cars, just driving around in big machinery things. She was always by his side. And so I'm really sad for him, because I know he lost one of his best friends when he lost Baby. And that's one of the reasons I do not have a pet. and still have no plans to ever have a pet because my heart is so big when I, like with baby even, it's just so sad. Like I get so attached and I just, in those goodbyes. That's the number one reason I'll never have a pet are the goodbyes. And of course, my family keeps having pets, and I fall in love with them, and I have enough hard time saying goodbye to their pets, let alone if I had my own and had to go through something like that personally. So, it's just so sad. So yeah, just a couple days, yesterday and today, remembering lives lost, and you just remembering the good times. That's all you can do. So I know today's topic's a little somber. We're headed toward the weekend though, folks, so things are looking up, I swear. But yeah, just some tough times, but keeping good memories in mind. All right, folks, here is today's Advent Calendar update, Lego City 2021 Advent Calendar Day 16. If you've been following along, can you, from this vantage point, figure out what is new? Well, it is this. It is this over here. What I believe is a semi-truck and trailer combo. As you can see, that is two separate parts. Added a micro-scale addition to our scene that is comprised of both minifigures and mini micro-scale builds. Also, our Christmas card collection is slowly but steadily growing, so I definitely appreciate that. But that is our Advent Calendar update for the day. Okay, folks, and that'll do it for today, day 16. Happy Vlogmas, folks. Tomorrow, day 17. As always, I do truly appreciate it, and until next time.